Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to give you guys an update on what I want to sew. Obviously I'm still working on my bags for my business, but sometimes just sewing lines can be a little boring. So I still want to make clothes and I want to get a little bit better with it. So as I mentioned, these were some of the patterns that I was looking at that I wanted to make some dresses out of. And so I did take some time and I drafted the patterns. And that actually honestly took me quite a long time because it was just taking me forever. So like I said, I like to draft out my patterns and then cut it out of different paper because I don't like cutting my patterns just because, like I had mentioned, my weight does fluctuate up and down a lot. And not only that, I do kind of just like to have the pattern still intact because if I feel like, if someone sees my dress and they want one too, they want me to make them one, I'll still have the pattern and I can just trace it straight off of the pattern piece instead of having to go and buy a new one. So for me, this is my preference. I just prefer to trace it out first and then trace it out on a different piece of paper and just cut out that paper instead of cutting out my actual pattern paper. So I drafted this. I also drafted this dress. Okay, so I did draft some other patterns from Breaking the Pattern. And I drafted a dress that is very similar to, kind of similar to this pattern. Except it doesn't have like the wrap in front. And I like this one because it has the long sleeve, and then I also like the neck piece of this pattern as well. This one doesn't have like the neck piece to it, so I drafted up this one as well. And I want to use for sure I want to use knit fabric for these two patterns. I'm a little nervous because I'm not really good with sewing knit fabric, so it's definitely going to be an experience. So I drafted this, so it's the Ruska knit dress. I also drafted this. I also drafted this pattern, and this is, I think they call it the pinafore. So I also drafted this because I wanted to make something similar to this as well because I think it's super cute. And yeah, so I drafted quite a few patterns. It took me like a few nights to draft these. Something about these patterns, it is slightly different from these ones with how it's laid out. I don't know if you guys have seen like the Berta patterns. They're pretty similar as well. I feel like the Berta patterns are a little bit more crazy. But here they do have some patterns that do overlap each other, and then they have like different color codes for them, so you kind of just have to look through these. They were in order by number, but I just was looking through these and now they're not in order. But anyways, like what's pretty nice though is that like they'll say, yoke, and then they have the number and then what pattern piece it is. So basically you just follow the color code for that. And then I don't know if you guys have this book or not, but if you're kind of just wondering about it, they do have like the sizings here, and then they have like the lines that you're supposed to follow on the pattern for your size. So I don't know if you can see it. Let's see. I don't know. So this is like the linings that you would look for each of the sizes. So that's really helpful, and then they do give you like some additional helpful information, which you can also find at the beginning of the book as well, which is like here. So I like to read through them and like make my own notes to like quickly find what certain things mean. What's really cool is that they do kind of give you like those main markings here as well, so that's pretty nice. But yeah, so I have quite a few things. They have some really nice patterns in here, so I can see myself like making other garments using this book. But yeah, so like the only reason I pointed out like their patterns are a little bit different from what you would see with these types of patterns is because I'm not used to this. I'm actually used to these types where they don't have like the patterns overlapping each other. I can totally understand why they would do something like that, having the patterns overlap each other. I'm just not used to it. So it did take me a while to like look through these and try to figure out what I was doing. But once I figured it out, it was pretty easy and straightforward. So yeah. So for sure, if you guys were like, you guys heard about this book and you guys were thinking about it, you know, I think it's a good book to use and reference as well. It seems pretty easy to use. Like this past weekend, I've been kind of thinking about what where I kind of want to go with this. Like it's a hobby, but it is something that I really want to learn and kind of make like a life out of. I've always wanted to make my own clothes, but I think it would be really cool to learn a lot about like clothing, fabric, fashion, all that stuff, all that great stuff, and learn to maybe eventually make my own fabric, because I love fabric. I could be in a fabric store for like the longest time. So I was thinking that I think I might also just take some time to kind of learn about like fashion and fabric making and the types of fabrics there are and just all that stuff. That stuff really interests me. So my plan is to kind of start learning about that as well. I do have quite a few books that does teach me about them, so I'll show you guys. Okay, so this past weekend I was looking through my books in my office and I realized, I knew this, but I guess like sometimes when you've had it for a while, you don't really look at it. I realized that I have a ton of fashion books and sewing books. And you can see I have like all these like fashion design books and pattern making and fabric sewing. I also have like illustrations, fashion illustrations, how to draw fashion garments and all of that great stuff. And then also like my fabric, like how to learn about fabric and everything. So I have quite a few books on fashion and how to make clothes. And it's something that I've always wanted to do for the longest time. So my plan is to invest more time in learning about fashion and making clothes and fashion drawing. So I think like my nights are going to be more geared towards studying all of that information. It's going to be kind of like a slow process because obviously I have my 9-to-5 job. I have my small business that I am like honestly lagging on. So I really need to get that going. But then I also want to spend time learning about fashion and making clothes the correct way. So it's going to be a busy year for me. But it is something that I really want to do. And I'm saying it because I'm keeping myself accountable, because if I don't say it, if I don't publicize it, I am probably not going to do it. So this is a way for me to kind of say, this is what I plan to do, and this is what I want to do. It's a goal. So this is what I'm going to learn from. And if I could like go to school, I mean, and I could, like, if I wanted to, I guess I could try to go to fashion school, but I don't have the money or the time for it. More so the money for it. So I'm gonna just try to learn along the way and learn with these books that I have here. Okay, I wanted to give you guys like a quick little shopping haul of fabric, because as I mentioned, I didn't have any fabric that I liked for my patterns. So I went to Joann's and I bought a few fabrics. They had 30% off their apparel fabric, so which was pretty nice. There's quite a lot of fall fabric, which I love. I love the fall fabrics. But anyways, I'll show you guys what I bought. So first, I bought this cream colored floral rib knit type fabric, and it's not really see-through, not that bad. I mean, you can just see the shadow of my hand, but like I've seen fabric where it's like pretty see-through, so this I really like. I also bought a few more rib knit fabrics as well. I bought this like orange floral fabric. So I have this one. And I bought this one as well. So this one is bigger. And the reason this one is bigger is because I'm planning to make the dress with this one. So I'm still kind of debating. So either I'm going to use this pattern, the new look pattern, or I'm going to use the knit dress that's in Breaking the Pattern. So I'm kind of debating which one I want to use. We'll figure it out when I can have some time to kind of think about which pattern I want to use for this fabric. And then for these other two rib knits, I actually want to make a shirt. And the thing is, like, I really like the rib knit type fabrics for my shirts, and I don't really have many of those, so I wanted to try to make my own. And while I was like looking at this fabric, I only got like 2 yards of these two down here, and I kind of wish I had more, because the more I look at them, I kind of wish that I bought more so that way I could make more knit dresses with these. But that's okay. If I decide that I want to make the dresses with these, I'll just go back and buy more. Hopefully they'll still have that 30% off, but who knows. But anyways, the shirt that I want to make is, I was looking through my closet and I saw this shirt that I had bought at Windsor like a long time ago. So it's just a regular low neck, plain, long sleeve shirt, and it's a little cropped. And I tried it on this morning and I really liked the shirt. And I had some fabric that's like of this material that I didn't even know you know, what to do with that fabric. So I wanted to make more of these using that fabric, but I also figured, you know, seeing these rib knit fabrics, I decided that I'm gonna try to make it out of those fabric as well. So yeah, I do have to like figure out how to draft this, so I'll probably have to figure that out tomorrow because it is getting kind of late. So I'm going to try to figure out how to make this using those other fabrics, because this is kind of, the way that this is sewn is definitely different from what I am used to seeing. Like, it looks like they did like a double, the fabric is like double lined, so that's pretty interesting. I've never seen that before. Or I probably have, but I just never noticed it. And then it looks like they just sewed it on the sides. I also bought this from Joann's. It's a very beautiful sweater brown rib knit fabric as well. And the inside is like, it's very soft. It's not prickly or anything. So I could make a lining if I wanted to, but if I didn't want to, I don't think I really need to. So this is the other fabric that I bought. They had a few different colors of this type of fabric, and honestly I wanted all of it, but it was kind of pricey. So yes, I just bought this color, and then if everything works out, I'm going to probably buy another one. And I'm probably going to use the same pattern for this as well. So making that rib knit dress with this fabric. The only thing I'm a little worried about, I don't know, I mean, it's kind of thick, but it's not too thick. So I am kind of nervous about sewing the sleeve part, but we'll see how it goes. I also have this, it's like dark green floral jersey fabric. And this I also want to make with, I want to use this to make the shirt out of as well, because I think this would be such a cute shirt, the long sleeve shirt that I just showed you. So I do want to use this to make that shirt. You know, like fall is coming. It's normally pretty cold here where I'm at, so and I love long sleeve shirts. I just don't have a lot, so instead of buying new ones, I decided that maybe I'll try to make my own. And yes, the fabric is expensive, but I really want, like I had mentioned in all my videos, I really want to learn how to make clothes, and I want to do it the right way. And I'm not going to be able to learn unless I do it myself. So this is why I purchased more fabric to make the clothes that I really want to wear, especially for the fall. The fall is like when I get inspired the most. For, you know, out of all the seasons, the fall season is when I get inspired the most. So I have that, and then I just bought, like, randomly, this isn't like a fall fabric, but this is a mesh fabric, and it's like, mainly, the color is mainly yellow, but it has like these designs. It's kind of like, it kind of looks like floral watercolor design on it. It's so pretty. It's mesh. I saw this fabric, I really liked it, and I figured, okay, I'm going to try to make a shirt out of using this as well. So we'll see how things turn out. But what I really do need to figure out is how to draft the shirt, because I really don't know. I really like the low neck of this shirt. And I like the cropped part of the shirt as well. It's not like super cropped, so where it shows, it's not like super cropped, which is what I like. I don't really like to wear really cropped shirts. Okay, so for this week, that is my plan. I'm going to continue to work on my bags, and then I'm also going to try to make some knit dresses for the fall and some long sleeve shirts as well. So we'll see how things turn out. I am hoping to get these done this week because I don't know, I'm pretty excited. I can't wait to see how they turn out. So stay tuned to see how these all turn out.